This question is really important, and I think we tend to, when we're starting a podcast, we tend to underestimate that. How do I find the best parts of my podcast to share? So we're in this particular phase of connecting with people where, yes, you have the 2-hour podcast. Like I said, I just did a live marathon that was 9 hours long a couple weeks ago, et cetera, et cetera. But the main way that people are going to find your podcast, whether you like it or not, are through snippets. It could be a short viral video, and it's like, oh, I need to hear the rest of that podcast. It could be a clip that has a lot of commentary, and it could be just, 40, 45-minute clip if it's a very long podcast. Excuse me. Or it could be a 5-minute clip. If you go to bringyourworth.tv, you'll see I have bringyourworth.tv clips now, where there are clips, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 15-minute segments from these longer form things that I'm doing. That's all part of the energy. That's all part of the wave right now. So if you could have like a 3-hour podcast with someone that you think is amazing, and there could be 5 or 6 really strong nuggets in there that you really want to share. How do you find those nuggets? How do you share those nuggets? That's really important if you're going to be making your podcast do well in the upcoming year. This one literally just came out this morning. I was getting ready for today's broadcast, and then YouTube dropped a message, and they're like, "Hey, we have a new app." So if you're on YouTube, as I am, that's important to you, the new app is called YouTube Create. Breaking news. If I had a breaking news thing, it'd be flashing all over. I have 2 degrees in journalism. I try to avoid the ambulance chasing. If it bleeds, it leads. So that's why it is a very mellow show. Listen, this is what it does. It's a free app. It's Android only, of course, because YouTube is owned by Google. Google is Android. It's not available for us iPhone users yet. Sorry, but it's fresh off the press. I have the link literally right there if you want to download it, if you're on the Android. It is very, very similar to CapCut. It's similar to InShot, which I'll give a link to in a second, or all the links are below if you don't have the patience for that. It's similar to that, except it's free, and it's from YouTube, and it's built literally to make YouTube shorts. If you want to learn more about it, they have a demo that's available. Again, I have an iPhone, so I couldn't demo it, but they demo it for you. Click the link below. You can learn more about it. Again, the video with the demo just came out 2 hours ago as I was getting ready for this. And so be sure and check it out. There's so many different ways that you can edit and play with your clips from your podcast. Don't sleep on that, because there's so many great podcasts that I didn't know about until I saw one of their visual clips on YouTube. Or even, I'll give you another example. Some of my audio work, including some of my audiobooks, like The Bite-Sized Entrepreneur, which is the first book in the Bring Your Worth series, again, available in the complete Bring Your Worth collection. I would take the audio from it, and I would add visuals, whether it was GIFs, animated GIFs, or as some of y'all know, I took the Bite-Sized Entrepreneur and added AI visuals to it. Again, all that's available at bringyourworth.tv for free. Be sure to check it out. You can go ahead and do that. And that's a way of taking the audio and then sharing it on a visual medium. So if you want to expand your audience, and you want to connect with the video platforms like YouTube, like Instagram, like whatever happens to be hot when you're watching this right now, it doesn't mean that you have to have a camera in front of your face like I do. It also could mean you taking the audio and then adding visuals to it post-production. This will help with that. As I mentioned, my favorite one is called InShot. The free program works extremely well. I think it's available on both platforms. I use it on iPhone, obviously, like I've been talking about, but I think it's also available on Android as well. At least it should be. It's been out for probably about 2-3 years. I started using it around the time I started the show. We're going on our 3rd anniversary. It works really well because you can take these big clips, like say 5-hour podcasts or whatever you're doing, get them on the phone, and then set the format. So just to be clear, YouTube Create, give you a link there. YouTube Create is focused on basically shorts. That means the traditional vertical, right? I'm holding them. I'm using my phone, but I would hold it, but you know what I mean? It's vertical. The first 250 episodes of BringYourWork.tv that you watch were made in InShot. In other words, it works great for shorts, but also works great for the traditional horizontal. I forget the dimensions. If you remember the dimensions, feel free to put for you deeper tech files than I am. Be sure and feel free to put them in the comments. But whatever dimensions they are, almost like a television, it works really well. And so it works good for that. And so even if you see, I'm thinking of like Colin and Samir, which is a very popular podcast where they talk to video creators, particularly YouTubers on YouTube. You can just Google Colin and Samir in YouTube and find them. They're really easy to find. They have like 1 million subscribers now. Shout out to them. But when you see their stuff, it's in traditional format. They could do their stuff in InShot. Works out really well for the free program. I had the free program for a while. If you want the better aspects of it though, it's super cheap. I want to say their annual plan is maybe $20, maybe $25, and I believe it's annual. It might not even be annual anymore. It's so low cost, I don't even think about it. I just buy it, and it's fantastic. It works out really well. I'm starting to play with other programs now that my videos are getting a lot bigger. And if you've seen the recent videos like freelancer, are you a freelancer or are you an entrepreneur? Or the video that I did about Jay-Z, Prince, and Michael Jackson, and their 3 very different ways of conquering the music industry. Again, all available at BringYourWork.tv. You'll see the production's a lot higher. Certain things for InShot, it will get overwhelmed with it. And I started to find that with some of my later, more complex videos. But if you're doing clips from podcasts and so forth, and your earlier stuff, it'll work out great. This is where it gets fun. So you're like, Damon, I had like a 2-hour interview with somebody, or you're similar to me where it's like, oh yeah, I did like a 2-hour live show, whatever. I don't know which parts are good. I don't know. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the whole process. I'm not sure what to do. AI can actually help with that. As I used to say back in my day, there's an app for that. My 2 favorite apps for finding clips. Again, this is episode 350. So I get it. If you I must have thousands of hours worth of content right now. Which are the joints that I should turn into clips? Which are the ones that I should share? Which ones should I turn into clips and they can be their own individual episodes? This helps with that. Opus.Pro works like this. I'm gonna go and do a quick demo for you guys, so hold on to your seatbelts. All right, give a shout if you can see it. All right, so Opus.Pro works like this. It uses AI to find the best parts in the conversations that you have. Now, a lot of my stuff is solo, but if you go to BringYourWork.tv, and I can throw a link in there, my latest short was a conversation with me and James, as I talked about on Monday, with how to bring your subscribers from 0 to where I'm at, which is in the tens of thousands. It will automatically figure out the juiciest parts of the conversation and then organize it for you in a particular way. So you go to Opus Clips. It's actually just Opus.Pro. And then it breaks down all the different ways that it works the best. And then you'll see some of my episodes, some of them did not work. But this one right here, hopefully you can see my cursor, learn how to go from 0 to 20K YouTube, right? Again, shout out to James for having me on. Click on this. And then what's this first one? This first one is the short that's on my BringYourWork.tv show right now. If you go to BringYourWork.tv and you go to shorts, it's the one right here. It gives a score, and then it gives an accurate view of the text. Give a shout in the chat or drop me a line if you want me to do something deeper with this. But I want to kind of give you guys the best insight. But wait, there's more. The Key to TikTok success. This one is 38 seconds, score of 94. And then it breaks down exactly why that one is good or not good, etc. You'll notice that it also is automating the text, which is an even more powerful app to do that. So that's Opus.Pro. I ended up doing the trial a few months ago. I think it was top of the summer. I loved it. I think I talked about it on here once or twice. When I did the ASJ conference at the top of the summer, I just discovered I kept talking about it. I mentioned it, I think, during my keynote and then after the Q&A afterwards. I really love this work. It is fantastic. I so appreciate what they're doing over there. And it's just a fantastic product. And it's a great way for you to minimize the amount of stress that you have. Again, James and I had a half an hour conversation. I was able to plunk it in there. And then it said, hey, here are 8 different clips in order, ranked, why that will give the most bang for your buck and the most insight to the people you're trying to reach. And we're going to clip it up for you. And we're going to go ahead and do the subtitles for you so you don't have to worry about that. I cleaned it up a little bit. As you guys can probably tell, there's a little bit of stuff on there. That's where InShot will come in. I think I literally used InShot for it. You guys can see the final result over at bringyourwork.tv, which is a great place to be. In fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give y'all a direct link to it so I can stop playing around and talking about how it worked out. And I'll give you a link to how it worked out. Thank you for your patience. Technology. And undo changes on that. All right. You guys should be good to go. All right. This is the secret to a successful podcast launch. You can see the final results there. And just excited to share that with y'all. All right, so that's Opus.Pro. Get my big head back on there. All right, so that's Opus.Pro. Link is right there. I removed the link, my fault. Link is right there. Great first option for it. The way that they charge, number one, it's a trial. So you can do the trial. The way that they charge, and you might have saw that. In fact, I'll pull this back up. You might see in the corner right there where it says credits. So they actually charge based on how long the video is. So for the conversation that James and I had, I think it was 29 minutes. So I used 29 minutes worth of credits, and then that got deducted from my account. If you use the link that I have here, I am an affiliate with them. So if you use the link I have here, that I think you get a month free, might be a week free at this point. Again, I try not to say those things because they change all the time with startups, but be sure and check them out. Run with it while you can. The key thing is that a lot of the tools that I'm sharing with you, again, Opus.Pro, I just heard about it at the top of the summer. Now it's starting to become a standard. The next app that I'm going to show you just came out. I bought it immediately. I was like, yes, I need to subscribe. It's subscription based. I was like, I need to subscribe. And it's totally the next wave. A lot of these things are going to become more commonplace. And so it's not a matter of saying, I'll try it later. It's like, no, if you actually want to have a current podcast and if you want to promote it in a certain way so you can be, successful in 2024, you definitely want to check these out. Even if you don't use my affiliate link, doesn't matter to me. Just check it out. Again, if you're at the ASJ conference, I was talking about Opus.Pro the whole time. And now it's starting to get popular. Now a lot of other shorts platforms and podcast platforms are starting to use Opus.Pro. You definitely want to make sure that your stuff is of that standard or higher if you're going to compete. There's one of those few areas where I'm like, no, the competition really matters. If you have me as a business coach, I usually don't talk about competition. There's one of those things where it's like, no, you want to care about competition with this one. This other one is amazing. Captions.AI, link below. I think it's available on all the platforms. Again, I have an iPhone, so I use it with the iPhone. It's been available, I think, for a matter of weeks. At least I've heard about it for the last 2-3 weeks. If you follow me on the Shorts channel, or if you subscribe to bringyourwork.tv, you see the Shorts, you can tell that they've kind of leveled up. First with Opus.Pro at the beginning of this summer, and now with Captions.AI. And I've coupled them, they're doing really well, I think, because of this. Here's what Captions.AI does. Number one, it's just about shorts. So it's strictly things that I think under 2.5 minutes, something like that. No longer than 3 minutes. Don't quote me on that, but it's less than 3 minutes. I know that. That's number one. Number two, it automatically does the subtitles for you, which is fantastic. So it's not going to find the clips per se. You're going to be uploading clips and then working with them, right? So it's a little bit different than Opus.Pro. Opus.Pro will help you find the clips per se. But this one is different, where with the found clips, you can then add different languages, and you can also add different ways of doing your subtitles. Different languages is bizarre. I have 3 or 4 different languages that are spoken in my family. Some folks from India, some folks from Honduras, all over the place. Some folks are Puerto Rican. To be able to create a short and then have it be spoken in different language is so different. Keep an eye on this spot because I am going to be experimenting with it. I just absolutely, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, wait, hold on. So Bring Your Worth can be in Italian now? And my whole family rocks with Italy. It can be in Italian now? Really? Oh my gosh. But on a much smaller scale and simpler scale. It's really good at getting the right captions and animating those captions. I've been talking enough. I'm going to let y'all see the latest one that I have. It's been doing really well on BringYourWorth.tv, but also doing really well, in fact, very, very well on my new TikTok at The Brown Damon. Let me go ahead and show you what I did. Big deal. Probably got several $7 million. Then recorded a few years ago, Beyonce actually got hired as a headliner for Coachella. Big deal. Probably got $7 million. Then recorded a special about her Coachella appearance. She gets the bag from that, as they say. So she got another 10 mil. 6 months or so later, she drops an album called Homecoming. So she's making money 3 ways from 1 2-hour appearance. So that's how you appear everywhere at once. Yeah, and so you compare that style of app to, say, the ones that are, or not app, that style of short, where I'm doing a podcast style. Compare that to, say, some of my earlier shorts, or maybe some of the shorts that you've seen with podcasts. It's a whole different level. The text is animated. I was able to split it so that Beyonce is dancing above my head. Shout out to Beyonce. And then I'm talking about her business moves below. And this is actually based on an older episode. For you guys that are OGs that have been subscribing for a while, this is actually based on, so I got 20 things going at once here. Here we go. It's based on how Beyonce makes money off of money. That's the one at the bottom. And then the short itself is, this one move made Beyonce millions. Again, the shorts are available over at BringYourWorth.tv, as is the long form episode. I forgot to put the link in there, but the link will be below when you see the replay of this. What you're able to do with captions essentially is add flavor and animation to the podcast or the work that you're already doing. Please check it out. Because number one, you can add that animation and that flavor to it. It's a totally different feel. And it wasn't that much more work than me putting in the captions myself. AI has a purpose. Number two is that the language translation, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this. Mark my words. No pun intended. The automatic translation, the ability to have YouTube or whatever platform translate the language that you're saying, perhaps I'd say within the next 3 to 4 years in real time to the language of the person that you're speaking to. So if you're listening to me right now, by the time you watch this 3-4 years from now, I could be speaking to you in your native language. That's already starting to happen. It's available in Captions.AI now, like right now. I've already been using it. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's a powerful tool. Even if you decide not to use these particular tools, at least check them out so you know the direction that things are going. Such an important thing. If you guys have any questions or comments in regards to finding the best parts of the podcast to share, please plug them in below. And the final question that the final question that